Okay, so today I'm going to talk about some of my favorite pens, which this could be an hours and hours long video if I talked about all of my pens, so I'll try not to do that. I'll just talk about the ones that I use a lot or that are interesting or that I use for different purposes. I like to have different pens for when I'm actually journaling as opposed to writing notes or drawing. I just have pens for different purposes. So I'm going to talk a lot about that today. So first of all, I will talk about how pens and paper make such a difference. There are certain pens that I love that don't work on certain papers, or vice versa. There's a paper that I love, but it doesn't really work with the pen that I like. So that's something also to consider, which I'll do a whole video on paper because that's also another one of my passions. Pens and paper are two of my favorite stationery items, hands down. And then, of course, I have so many others that they just kind of all trickle in there. But anyway, the paper that I write on the most, just because it's my all-time favorite, is Hobonichi, or Tomoe River, I should say, because I have Tomoe River in multiple different things. So this is the Sanzen paper. I do love it. Every now and then, this one feels, I mean, it doesn't really bleed, but the Sanzen I feel like ghosts a little bit more than the Tomoe Gawa paper, which I'm trying to grab right here. This one I feel like I can use pretty much anything on, even like really juicy pens, and I don't even see the bleed through onto the other side. So paper has a lot to do with it, and I've noticed that when I'm drawing with pens and using paper that I go in seasons where I really want to draw on this paper and it inspires me, or I really want to use that pen. So I kind of just use whatever pen or paper is inspiring me at the moment. And if I start feeling like, I don't really want to journal right now, or I don't want to write anything down, or I don't want to draw, I switch notebooks, or I switch pens, or I switch, different supplies, and all of a sudden I'm feeling inspired again. So even though it might look like I have a little bit too many pens, which I kind of do have a lot of pens, they all serve a purpose and they've all inspired me at different points in my life. So I'm going to talk about the different pens, and I'm going to show you why I like them or how I use them. So first of all, I'll talk about interesting pens that I can't resist when I see something fun or new that I've never seen before. So these are, and I'm probably totally going to botch the name on this thing, but these are the, I think they're Zig. Yeah, they're Zig. Let's see, where's my camera here? Yep. And they are right there. The Kokoiro. I know I'm saying that wrong, but they're really, really fun because you can buy a bunch of different colors. I got these on Jet Pens. No, did I? Yeah, I got these, all of it, the refills and the case. I got these on Jet Pens. These I love for drawing. I don't use these usually for writing just because, never mind, that's not true. I use these for writing. This one's a bristle brush. I don't know if you can see that right here. This one I use for drawing. See how it's like, ooh, it's really juicy. If you get really thick lines or really fine lines, I love that. So this one's really fun for if you're doing like a little sketch like that and you want, thicker hair and then a finer lip or something like that. So this one's one of my favorite. Again, that one's the bristle brush. That one's really cool. And then these other ones that I have, they all have just a regular brush nib, like a thin brush nib. So again, you can get like a thicker and thinner, but these ones are really good for hand lettering, which don't judge. Hand lettering is not my specialty, but I do enjoy making creative letters. So that one's really cool. That one gets really thin. Kind of looks bent afterwards, but anyway, I don't know. I guess that one's black. Some of these are different colors. Some of these were the colors. Okay, so that's a sepia. It's probably hard to tell on camera right now, but that one, a lot of them were out of stock when I bought, so I'd love to stock up on some more colors. And then there's blue. That one's really pretty, but the ink is so good. The ink is so pretty and vibrant. So that's one of my favorites, and I'll make a list at the bottom of all the pens. I'll try of all the pens that I used, and then maybe where I got them so that you can go find them easily, because that's really annoying when you're looking for something and then you can't find it. So since I'm on the subject of drawing, I'll just show you some of my other favorite drawing pens. So I try to keep my stuff organized. This is my little drawing-ish pens bin, so I'll set it right here. This bowl is in the way. My desk is kind of crammed. I'm about to move it because I can't really work right here. So these are Bianyo, I believe is the brand name. I think they're trying to be like this, like the Sakura pens, but they're actually really good. These are the sepia ones. I really like drawing with these because they're really smooth. Of course, you can get different diameters. I have a bunch. I don't actually know. I guess some of them are in there. Some of them are somewhere. Some of my pens are not where I think they should be right now. And then, of course, everybody likes the Micron. I do like the Micron. I would never say that it was my favorite pen, because it's not. It's fun to draw with, and it is mostly waterproof, so that's the main draw for me. But I like pens that are kind of off the beaten path. I love this one, the Pilot Multi-Ball. This one's really cool. It has a, let's see, it's like a, I guess it's a roll, yeah, it's a roller ball, multi-ball, hence the name. This one's really fun to draw with, and I think this one, let me see if it says anything on here. No, but I'm pretty sure that this one can write on multiple surfaces, and like even non-paper surfaces, and I think it's permanent. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that that's this pen, and that's one of the reasons I bought it. So I like that one. I love this one. It's weird. It's a Sharpie. I'd never seen a metal Sharpie like this. So anyway, I kind of felt the urge to buy it when I saw it. It's kind of, again, it's a lot like a felt fine liner. But it's fun to write with just because it does have more weight, and I think this one's waterproof. It's been a while since I've drawn with this one, but it has more of a grayish color, so I do like it if I'm doing more of like a less pigmented look. Anyway, those are, I have so many favorite drawing pens, but and I actually just draw with a lot of the pens that, like my regular gel pens. I love to draw with pen. I will draw with pencil, but I don't know why. I love sketching with pen, even though I don't make it look perfect every time. And just to be fair, I'm not an artist. I did not go to art school. I don't have any sort of training. I just like to sketch. So for me, I'm talking about sketching and what I do for my own illustrations, not necessarily what somebody who has an artist's training would use. But this is definitely another one of my favorites for lettering and for drawing. The Fudenosuke, is that what it's called? Hold on a second. Fudenosuke. It's been a while since I've used it. Fudenosuke. I'm sure I'm butchering that name too, but this one is really great for getting different like widths, and I'm sure most of you guys have seen this pen around. This is definitely one of my favorites, because you can just do so much with it, whether you're drawing or writing. It's just a really fun one. So I like that you can get the thick and then you can get the thin. That one's a really fun one too. So Fudenosuke. That one's really fun too. Okay. That's my drawing bin. There are obviously tons of pens in there, but I can't show them all to you. This would be, like I told you, if I showed you all of my favorite things, it would take forever. Ooh, this is another one. Well, actually, I kind of like that one for writing. Let's see. These are all my black pens. See, I told you I kind of have a pen problem. It's kind of crazy, but I'm always looking for pens that don't bleed, like if I'm drawing, because if I use watercolor paint on some of these, like for instance, that looks like pencil. That's actually a gray ink, a diamine. I think it's called, yeah, No More Gray Skies. So if I was to put watercolor on that, obviously the entire thing would smudge away. So I'm always looking for pens that are waterproof, and then if I find them, I kind of go crazy, because it's the most frustrating feeling to create something and then go to put some watercolor on it, and all of a sudden you've ruined your entire thing because you forgot to use the right pen. So I have a lot of different pens. Some I bought just from people talking about them and I didn't love. Like, I'm not huge on these Papermate pens. I do love these friction pens for if I feel like sketching, but I don't want to, you know, I still want to be able to erase like I would with a pencil. So I do like these, although I will say I do think that these also are kind of a grayer tone. Let's see. They don't feel as black to me. They don't feel super pigmented. Yeah, see, they kind of just, they're not super inky and dark, which I still like them, again, because it's nice to be able to erase when you make a mistake. I have these in every color. I keep these for me and for my kids for their homework, because they like to draw with pens, write with pens, and so that way I can help erase. I love everything Pilot. I love these. I think these are these called the Razor? Oh no, this is the P700. Let's see. And then this one's the Razor, I think. I love writing with both of these pens. They're both really thin, but really juicy. Yeah, that one's really pigmented, and it has a little roller kind of feel to it. And then that too. This one feels, well, it is like a felt tip pen. So that one feels like a really fine felt tip pen, but I really like that one. But I rarely meet a Pilot product that I don't like, especially pens. So there's a lot in here that I could talk about, but I just feel like that would be kind of crazy. Of course, everybody, I say everybody, I love Energel. I don't really love the design of Energel. For some reason, it feels dated to me, but I still love the ink. And this one I think is, yeah, permanent gel ink. This is the document version, and I bought these again so that I could draw with them so that they wouldn't smudge. So it's not as pigmented as some of my other ones, but it doesn't smudge. So I do like that one too. That one's a good one. And then this one, let's see. Oh, the Sharpie S-Gel. Again, Sharpie's kind of made a comeback with some of their stuff, but I mean, for me anyway. Oh, this still has the gel on it. Sometimes the S-Gel bleeds. I mean, it's not going to bleed. This is Midori. I don't know if you guys have Midori MD notebooks, but I love them for sketching. I have some for writing, and I like I love the paper, but for me, the texture is perfect for drawing, but it's a little too toothy for me to to journal on. I prefer like super smooth, like Tomoe River paper or something like that. So anyway, sometimes this S-Gel bleeds. It won't on this paper. Whoa, never mind, I was wrong. I was gonna say it won't bleed on Midori, but it did. So yeah, that one's a bleedy pen. I don't use that one as often. And then this is the Pilot G2, which everybody knows, I think, about this pen because you can buy it just about anywhere. Sometimes this pen gives me hard starts, like a fountain pen, but I really like this one too. It feels really smooth when I write with it. Okay, that is black pens. Like I said, I don't want to take your entire morning up. But then I really love, oh, let's see, hold on real quick. I'm sorry, I keep getting off track here. I'll talk again really quick about drawing, and then I'll go into my writing situation. So these, if you don't know, are Pilot Juice. Again, I love Pilot pens. Love Pilot pens. But especially the Pilot Juice. And I have some in different diameters, but the 0.7 is my favorite. They are so smooth. They're just so smooth. So I love to write. I mean, I love to sketch with them. I'm trying to think. No, that was Friction. I feel like I was sketching with them the other day. I had, like, sometimes I go in phases where I forget about certain things I was using, and then I rediscover it and get really excited. So anyway, I'm not sure where I was sketching with this, but I love these pens. They are so smooth. And I love that you can like use, like if I was going to draw a face, this is going to look silly because there's no anything, but I love that you can go back and add the lips. Oops, I'm making a mess here, but you know what I mean. You can go back and add the lips, and then go back with a lighter color and add the cheeks. They're just really juicy and really vibrant. I just really like them. And then, like I told you, I have other diameters, but this is one of them. This is the Juice Up. That's a 0.5. So this one's really tiny. But for such a tiny little nib, it's so juicy and vibrant. I have that Juice Up in the metallic colors too. I really like these, and they don't bleed even on Bible paper. They are really good for really thin papers that usually bleed really bad. So I love these metallic ones. They're so smooth for such a tiny little nib, like I said. And I actually think these are 0.4. Yeah, this one's a 0.4, and it's still really smooth for such a tiny little needle. So I really like those pens too. And then another one I like to use for drawing is, and this one's new to me, and I don't always buy, I tend to love Japanese pens the best, but I saw that somebody was using this Rytec. Is that what it's called? Oops, that's not, that one has gel on it. Let's see. Well, whatever, I'll take the gel off. Using this Rytec brand. And I wanted it just because it was cute. That's sometimes why I buy things. But it's a really thick diameter. I really like that. And then you twist it. So I guess if you're a student or somebody where you don't want to be doing a lot of clicking, then this would be a good pen for you. But at first I had mixed feelings about it, but then I realized that it's waterproof and it dries really fast. So while it's not, I can't say it's like my favorite pen as far as like smoothness and all of that, it's still good. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad pen, but it's not like what I'm used to as far as really super smooth pens, but it dries so fast. The last time I drew with it. I have a lefty. Yeah, see, that's already dry. So many of my gel pens don't do that. I have a lefty in the family, and he was writing with this. And I mean, if you can get someone who likes to write really fast and they don't smudge their pen, that's a good one. So that one's really cute, has a good weight, and it's really thick. So I really like that. That one's new to me. And then for a really pigmented ink, again, I don't always buy like random non-Japanese pens, but I think this is like a Staples brand, maybe Tool, or I don't know, that's where it came from, but it's really juicy. This one's really fun to write with and draw with, like just so juicy. I don't know if you can see. I guess I should bring you a little closer here. That one's really juicy. So I like the pigment. However, this one smudges really bad usually. Oh, okay. Well, it smudges really bad on Tomoe River paper, but not on Midori apparently. But it's definitely not waterproof. I've gotten it wet on accident and it's smudged. And then sometimes I like to just buy random little cute gel pens and sketch with those. So these are just like little capybara. Don't laugh. We don't have these in America, these cute little animals. But these are really fun to draw with also. The ink is really pigmented. So I love random cute little gel pens. These ones are super cute. These I got on AliExpress. I think you can get them on Amazon too. And then, so let's see, I have a lot more that I draw with, but, I'll move on to the writing section because I'm going to show you one more that I, like to draw with. Let's see, did I put it in here? I have so many pens, I'm crazy. Okay, so this one, I'm going to move this back up a little bit because it's hard for me to move right here. So this is the Pilot Preppy, and I don't know if you ever use this fountain pen, but it's actually surprisingly really smooth for the price point. I think the Preppies are usually like $5 on Amazon or Jet Pens or anywhere else you buy your pens at, but I bought the carbon ink for this one, which is the Platinum Carbon, this one, and it's waterproof. So that was the whole reason I bought this particular Preppy. I mean, I use Preppies just for writing, but I specifically bought this one ink to put in this pen so that I could have a waterproof fountain pen because I really enjoy sketching with a fountain pen. So that's just really fun because you get really dark, pretty lines like that. But it's waterproof. Most of my fountain pen inks are not waterproof, so as fun as they are to draw with, I can sketch with them, but I can't add color to them. So that is something that I love for sketching, the Preppy. So this, I think I have the wrong cap on here. I have a purple one somewhere. This is the black pen. So if you were to get this grayish black body, you would not have a purple cap, but you know, you get the picture. And then I'm going to move on to writing supplies. Probably have to do another pen video at some point because I have so many, and I think I've had too much coffee. I'm talking a mile a minute right now, but I will show you how I like to write. So I've been keeping this little sketch. I mean, I just started this one. I was keeping my to-do in like a Moleskine notebook, and I never used to be a huge Moleskine person. In fact, there's a girl on here on YouTube, Seaweed Kisses, and I love her content, and she's actually the one that kind of got me buying Moleskine. I never really did for some reason. I guess I never really loved the paper because I was really into Hobonichi, like I said, but I bought some because they had some crazy sales last year, and I actually really like the one she's really big on helping you find the one that's like a unicorn, so to speak, of their paper that doesn't bleed. And so I actually found a bunch that I can use fountain pens and a bunch of my different pens on. So I was keeping my to-do list in here because it's really, you really can write a lot of use a lot of different pens in here. But sometimes when I'm doing a to-do list, I get like, I realize I'm not writing on this side of the page, so I started writing in this, which is another suggestion of hers, just a little cheap little thing. But most of my pens don't bleed in here. This is like a $2 notebook, so this one you can use most of your pens in, and I have been. It's been really fun to use this little thing. But a lot of times I am journaling when I'm using my pens. That's what I'm obviously writing to-do lists, but I'm also journaling, writing things down. This paper, can you hear that? The crinkle. I love crinkly paper. I know I'm weird. I mean, I know I'm not that weird because I see that a lot of people post about that kind of thing. But this paper is actually called Mitsubishi Bankers paper. Bankers paper. I believe it was a, I ordered some paper off of a Etsy shop, and I got the mystery bundle of like Oops papers or Oops notebooks, and this was in there, so I kind of had to do some sleuthing to figure out which paper it was. But I really like this one. This paper makes everything feel so smooth. But I really like, if I'm journaling, I'll use this kind of pen for making like a header, maybe like if I was gonna do like faux calligraphy or something, or faux hand lettering or whatever you want to call it, because it's a thin nib. So I don't typically write with thinner pens if I'm actually doing my journaling. I have really big handwriting. I just like to write really big and flowy. I'm not one of those people that has the cute little handwriting that fits perfectly in the grids. That's just not me. It looks pretty. It's never how I've written. So I'll write tiny if I'm, you know, testing a pen or something like that. You can see like most of these, well, see there are a couple of the pens bled. Let me see. On to the next side. But anyway, I test a lot of my pens in the back of a book before I use one, because it'd be really annoying to do a whole entry and then flip the page over and see that you bled onto it. But I use this Bankers paper a lot. Any pen will work on here. Fountain pens, everything. I've hardly had anything bleed on here. And then I'm going to use a different notebook to show you which are my favorite pens. So I'll use, this is also Tomoe River paper. I think this one's Sanjin. I don't know. I got this one a couple years ago before they really made the switch, but it doesn't feel like Tomoe Dawa. It has that crisper feel, but also it might just not be, it might be the original Tomoe River, but not Machine 7, if that makes any sense to you guys. But anyway, I'm going to show you some pens that I really like to use in here. So like I said, if I'm actually journaling, I use really juicy pens because I have big handwriting. So I will get out a couple of mine that have really thicker nibs that are some of my favorites to use, because here, I'll let you see this pen mess while I look. I need to get, oops, I need to change up my pen situation here. I think I have too many in one bin. I need to separate them from nib size. I'm looking for, oops, a specific pen that's, is it this one? Let's see. I know I just used it the other day. Oh, even I'm going to show you this one too. That one's kind of fun. Ooh, and this one. Sometimes it skips on me, but I'm going to show. Oh, here's this one I'm looking for. Okay, so I'm going to show you some of my gel pens that I like to use for bigger handwriting. So I don't know if you've seen this one, but this is the Oto or Otto. I say Oto. And I think this is the Fude Ball. This one is so juicy. I think it is, what's the nib size on this? I feel like it's like 1 point something, 1.3 maybe. It's so juicy. Oops, I spell it wrong. Oto. Fude. And then, but it's just, okay, that looks terrible. But anyway, you get the point. I can write really big with it, so I don't have to write really tiny. I can just write really free with that one. Okay, that sloppy handwriting is bugging me, but that's all right. Come a little closer here. This is another one that's thick. I think this is a 1mm. This is the Uniball Signo. I love these pens. The white one I use for my drawings. I really love it for the eyes or the lips, or just to add highlights into the hair. This one's a really good one. This one's not, see, I think that must be like a 1.3 or something, because that's so much thicker. But that one's a really good one for writing bigger. And then sometimes I use just random old cheap gel pens. Like I think this one, I don't know where I got this one. It's called Basic. But sometimes I love just using like a thick glittery gel pen for my writing if I'm in the mood for that. So I'll do that kind of pen. Or this is one of my favorites. I love this. This is the Pentel Crazy Pop, and I don't know if you've used these, but I love all of the Pentel thicker gel pens like this. But this one especially, because I'm going to show you how the color moves around on it. It's like a pink and blue, and I think I have all of the Crazy Pop colors. They all do this, but they change colors. So I don't know if I can get it to, let me see, pick up my little Bear Light, see if I can show you the shimmer and sheen. Okay, well, it's not working. But anyway, it turns multiple colors. I need to get one of my purposes in moving my desk is to get near natural light because my desk setup is blocking my window right now. But I can kind of see it. Anyway, those are my favorite gel pens that are thicker. So those ones I like to use a lot. I have to do some surgery on this notebook real quick. Whenever I write something really sloppy, it really annoys me, so I have to cover it because I can't keep looking at it. Or if I draw something ugly, I have to cover it up. I know, it's weird, but I can't. I flip the page, and if I see ugly handwriting, it just annoys me so much. So, goodbye. So that's gone. Okay, so now I'll show you like my first love when it comes to writing for journaling is fountain pens, which if you stay here long enough, you'll find out that I'm kind of obsessed. So my favorite fountain pen of all time is the TWSBI. This one's the TWSBI Diamond, which I would not usually buy myself because I'm frugal. I love good supplies, but this one seemed steep to me in the beginning of my journey, my fountain pen journaling journey. But now I have quite a few on my wish list, but my husband likes to buy the things that he knows I won't buy myself. But this one is let's see, I think this one's the medium nib. And then I also have, oh, that is so juicy. The nib is so good on the TWSBI. If you don't have any TWSBIs, you should get one. At least start with a Eco. This one has the pink. Man, my lighting here is not doing good today. So I think this one's my broad nib. Yeah, this one's my broad nib. No, I think I got them wrong. That's definitely my broad nib. Yeah. Okay, this one's medium. This one's broad. Most people would have had all this stuff out before they started recording, but that's not really my personality. So, and then I think I've showed in some other ones, my first video, I showed this Monteverde Flex nib. This one's super cool. I wouldn't write with this one because the nib is so flexible, but I would definitely put like my header at the top of a page with something like this one. But I like all kinds of fountain pens. Let's see, I have a little stash here. Oh, this Conklin, I have to show you the Conklin. This is medium and broad or double broad are my favorite actually to write with, just because, like I said, I do have large handwriting. This one is a broad and it's Conklin, like I said. Let's see if I can get this cap up here. Yeah, I don't know if that focused, but this one is so juicy and thick. This is made for someone like me. The way that I write. This one's a broad. I definitely need to get more Conklins because that one's so juicy. And then sometimes when I'm writing, oh, well, I guess I could show you a couple more of my broad nib ones. This one's also broad nib. This one's Lamy. And I need to change the ink out because I like my ink to match my pen. But this one has blue ink in it right now. But also, this one's not nearly as broad as the Conklin, but it's still thick. It's still a good thickness. And then my other broad nibs are, this I think is a double broad, and this one's a broad. Let's see. Yeah, that's all I have in here that's that. But this is the double broad Kaweco. I love Kaweco pens. They are so smooth. Ooh, this looks like it needs new ink. Yep. Okay, well, I can't really show you that pen. See, like I said, most people would have had this all prepared, but I just, that doesn't work for me right now in my season of life. This is the broad. Pretty sure this one's not empty. So you can get a good idea. If this is the broad, usually that one's much thicker because of the double broad. I love that. Again, I would love to have a lot more of those, of that diameter. And then I use, if I'm doing like smaller, writing in smaller places, oops, I love to use like I won't write with a fine nib, but I will like take notes with a fine nib because it's nice to be able to fit inside these grids if you really want to. This one needs new ink too. Goodness. Okay, well, anyway, this one's the Jinhao 10, and I have this one in multiple colors also. I think some of them need some inking. There's a black one there, and then I have this one's my favorite, the rose gold and lavender looking one. I have another one somewhere around here. And then I'm going to show you a couple more, and then I'm going to go. I'm going to quit talking about pens. I mean, I'm not going to quit talking about pens, but I will quit talking about them for a second. Give you guys some time to breathe. Okay, so this is another one of my favorites that my husband got me for Christmas. This one's called Azvine. I don't know. It's a brand I'd never heard of before, but it's actually really smooth writer, and it doesn't dry out. And I wish that they made a broad. This one's a medium, so I will journal with a medium, but obviously I prefer broad. So if they came out with a broad nib, I would buy every color, especially if it was pink, which you guys should know by now, this is my favorite color. So these, if you've not seen these before, are Tom Studio pens, and I only have the Lumos Mini. I would love to get the Lumos Duo and some of the Ren, but you can change the nibs out on this. It's really cool. So right now I have, I think this one's a 0.7, I don't remember, but it's really mini. I didn't know it was going to be this many, but these are really fun. This is another one I should have shown you for sketching. This one I love to sketch with, and you just, I don't know if you haven't seen this before, I'm going to show you how you fill this thing up. Wait, should have taken that off. So it comes with this little marker thing. I don't know if you're old enough to remember. Well, they still do this. Like if you pull open a Crayola, this just reminds me of my childhood. If you pull open a marker, it has this little felt thing in it. You literally just dip this in your ink bottle and it soaks it up. So you can use whatever color you want in here. So again, I inked it up to match the outside because that makes more sense for me. I actually used this one. I bought it for this specific reason. I thought it was a perfect match. So, and then trying to remember what I put in this other one I'm about to show you, the purple lilac one that I got. I don't remember what color I inked this with, but this one has a thicker nib. This one, oh, this is the Candy Seas. Yeah, I remember what color this is now. This one doesn't shimmer like it does in a fountain pen, but that's what I love about inks. They have different properties depending on what pen you put them in. This is the ink I used for that one. Candy Sea and Toffee by Endless Alchemy. Their inks are really cool. Although I was a little bit disappointed with this one because it didn't shimmer. Like, you can see the shimmer in the bottle, but it doesn't shimmer as much when I draw with it, but that's a conversation for another day. Anyway, so those are a lot of my favorite pens. I know that I've missed out on some because I have so many. In fact, I might move this camera and show you what I'm talking about when I say I have too many pens. I'm just going to put up with seeing a little bit of a mess here because it's kind of unorganized at the moment, but I'm going to show you what I'm talking about because I want you to see that I have a lot to tell you about pens eventually. So let's move this thing a little bit over here. See if I can do this. Okay, well, I was going to show you some more some more of my pens by using my phone, but my phone was not cooperating on coming out of the stand. So for now, this is what you get. I would love to talk more about pens, more about paper, but I don't want to bore you to tears. Make this video way too long, so I will do another one at another time. All right, bye.